Hi, this is Jay with Jay Pryor Coaching. Thanks for joining me. This week I want to talk about reframing. And I haven't talked about that a lot, or maybe not ever before, and I'm remiss in doing that because reframing is very, very important, and it's one of the muscles that you really got to flex in terms of personal transformation and personal development. So what reframing is essentially being able to look at any situation from somebody else's perception, being able to look at situations from someone else's perception, and being able to get that your perception, or my perception, should I say, isn't the only one. It isn't right. It isn't the only way to see things. And we all know logically that we could see an incident happen, right? An incident can happen in public, and 30 people can see that incident happen, and 30 people would have 30 different interpretations of what exactly happened during that incident. So we know that logically, yet when we're dealing with interpersonal relationships, it seems like sometimes that how could anybody possibly see things differently than the way I see things, right? Because it sometimes seems so obvious that this is how it is. And the reality is that's not true. There isn't one way of viewing things. So you want to flex your muscle, or I want to flex my muscle, and I invite you to flex your muscle around reframing things from different perspectives, so that, especially if there's a perspective that you have that has you experiencing pain or a loss of power in any way, you want to be able to reframe that to give yourself power. My wife and I practice this sometimes if we're confused about something or something's frustrating for us in our lives. We practice being silly with reframing. We'll say, well, maybe the reason our child is doing that is because an alien came down and inserted a probe into her ear, and that's why she's behaving that way. You know, just silly things to get us thinking from a different perspective, rather than a perspective that may give us a loss of power or a way of viewing things that has us not feel like we can be powerful in that situation. It's a very powerful tool, reframing, being able to see things from other people's perspective, especially if there's a bad guy in your situation. If you can start to look at things from your perspective, bad guy, wow. I mean, that's your higher math reframing. That's good stuff. So this week, I want to put you on the hook to, first of all, notice that your perception is yours. It's just your perception. And see if you're having a trouble or loss of power, see if you can shift your perspective and just see it from a different perspective. Any different perspective, it doesn't matter. Play a game with it. Look at it from every different possible angle you can, but be able to know that there's multiple ways to look at any situation. So I invite you this week to really flex your muscle around that. And again, of course, I always welcome your comments and love to hear it when you've taken something on, and let me know how that's going. Thank you so much for joining me. I love being able to be with you. Have a great week.